Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're all well. So in the workshop again. So I've finished all the cleaning now of all the carb parts. You can see it's kind of nice and clean there now. I've sprayed everything with WD-40 actually, and all the components. And one of the reasons I've done that is when they dry out of the ultrasonic cleaner, it can leave a bit of a residue. So I thought, you know, spray it with WD-40 until I'm ready to reassemble everything, and then it'll be good to go. So that's pretty much what I've done, and you can see there's no residue on here at all. Nice and shiny. Everything's looking good. Right, so let me just put the camera up there, and I'll kind of tell you what I'm doing first of all. Right, so I started with the float bowls as well. Nice and clean all the way through. One of them, the float bowl drain screw is knackered up. I couldn't actually get it out. I managed to find one online, and I'm just going to test fit that when it arrives, hopefully in the next day or two, with the ones that I haven't put in. But if it fits okay, then I'll basically drill that out and just put that in. It's not leaking, so that's, you know, worst comes to the worst, I'll just leave it in there for now. So drain screw's going in first. I've already done the other two float bowls. Now I've just got to find the drain screw. Here we go. Drain screw. Why is it, these are Mikuni Carbs, right? Why is it, can't they just have standard parts or standard screws for things? Why does everything have to be just a different fit? It would just make life so much easier, wouldn't it? You know, you got a set of Mikuni Carbs, let's say. We'd say, right, every single float bowl, regardless of the design, the drain screw is exactly the same fit. In fact, why don't they make them all the same size for all motorcycle carb drain holes? I mean, you know, just wishful thinking, I suppose, isn't it? But anyway, well, so that goes in, just snug it in nice and tight there, fits there. Now what I would always do before putting this on the carb and fully assembling, I would always put some fluid in there, whatever, petrol, kerosene, whatever, and just check it's not leaking. Just check it's not leaking from that drain hole, because that's the last thing you want to happen. Okay, right, so that's all good there. If I could test that now. So the next thing is to put all the jets and just assemble that part there. Right, so first things first is pop this part in there, and this is where it gets a little bit on the tricky side. So we have to do, basically have to feed this jet all the way through there to the other end, so it comes up, and it comes up via there, you see. So I'm going to have to get in just some long nose grips. There we go. Right, so there it goes up there. I've basically got to rotate it. If I can show you on this one rather than there, basically each part has got a little slot in it like that, and that corresponds to a little slot there, or a little notch there. So you basically got to line it up as you're going up. So what I'm going to do is just get there and just rotate it around gently. Actually, let me get my other feeler. Dentist tools, or dentist picks, always are great for the workshop. There we go. That's it, it's all matched in there. So then the jet goes in next. So the jet is, I'm putting in a, yeah, 145. These are 145s in there. Now obviously, I'm assuming, well, I'm hoping that, because when it was running, I got the bike running and the jet running, sorry, there's a little washer that goes on first. I'm hoping it's the right jet, but that's not to say that I won't have to rejet these afterwards. Pop that in there, hold the base, make sure it doesn't fall down. There we go. And then a larger screwdriver, rotate that, and that's in place there as well. Now, although these are completely ultrasonically cleaned, I'd always, when I'm reassembling, just make sure that everything is still free and open. As I said before, get yourself one of these carb cleaning kits, you know, with all the needles, all the brushes as well. Right, so the next thing to do then, put in the filter. This is where the float needle goes. So pop that in. Then your float needle there. Just make sure that goes up and down nicely. Then the cover. Not sure if you can see it from up there. Goes on there like that. Probably the best thing to do then, if I change the camera angle so you can see better. Okay, so that's all being held in place. Now these floats I've already set the distance there as well. And the needles, retaining pins as well. Okay, so that's in place. So basically that is the base already sorted now. So really you just need to do the top. But what we do, we're going to put the gasket on there as well, like so, which are here. These are the gaskets which I got, which are Z1000 gaskets, but they fit the Z750. Right, so we'll put this one on here, like so, and then we screw these down. So there we go. That's the base. I'm just going to do the top there as well. Once that's done, that's just basically one carb sorted out. So let me just screw this down, and then I'll do the top. And then once we've done that, then well, put the rest together as well. There we go, one carb put together. Now to just do the rest. And well, once I've done that, I'll come back and I'll show you about putting them all together in a row. Right, let me crack on. Okay, all the carbs are assembled now, all put back together. The next step is to join all the carbs together. So it helps if you've got the diagram there to follow. Sometimes I think in the owner's manuals, sometimes all the workshop manuals, they can be a little bit confusing, so you have to get your head around it, or I have to get my head around which way goes where. But essentially you're going to have the first carb which does all the work. In other words, that's where your throttle cable ties into, and then all the rest of the carbs join onto that in a bank. So you've got to make sure that all your transfer pipes are all connected or all in place. And essentially, let me just put the camera down, I'll show you what happens. But when you got your first carb, or your primary carb as it were, and you put another one in, where your throttle cable, open your butterfly there, and it actually acts to control the next carb, that's where you slot that in, so you can make the adjustments right there in that bit there. Then you just press it all together and you can see that all the pipes will go in. So let me just show you from up here. One pipe goes in there, one pipe goes in there. And before you settle on anything, just press that down. So you can see that has gone into there. Press all the pipes together. So now you've got two connected. Okay, loosely connected, because you still need to put all the straps across that hold it all together. So the next one along to the left of that primary carb, as it were, it's exactly the same. I'm not using the right terms here, but I'm just trying to explain it. So you've got your number one carb, your primary carb I should say, not your number one, your primary carb, and that is linked to everywhere else, but the drive comes from this one on your throttle cable, then it's connected to all the other carbs in turn. So one connects to the other. So the next one along on the left, push it together, there we go, then that one's connected now. And obviously you're going to have to reset everything and fine tune it afterwards. And this one, exactly the same. Put it together, squeeze it in a little bit so you can get enough purchase on there. So on your adjustment screws, so all these things at the front, they're all adjustment screws. So now they've got the bank of 4 connected. So place that down there, and now they're all connected. So you've got your fuel lines there, transfer lines there. And at the front, you can see here, when I turn the primary carb, as if the throttle cable is coming up here, then that controls all of them. All right. So obviously now you can't put this on the bike, it all needs to be stable, and then you have to tune it all together. Okay, so let me just pop this over on here. Now I'm going to put all the plates together so it all looks the same. So these, and these. Also got to sort out the choke. This is your idle screw set. Place that on the bottom here, and then we're going to get the relevant screws. Just line that up. Okay, so as you can see, I put this on here, this brace, with the idle screw on here as well, and that will screw directly onto the primary carb there setting for your throttle control, for your idle control there. Just make sure that's going all the way in. Yep, let's do that, wind that all the way out so it's not interfering. And this is just a loose fit right now until I put everything else on. Okay, so next thing is to put the top rail on. That works like that. And now we're really starting to get it all secured up. But again, it's all loose fittings for now. Okay, so as a loose fit now, the bank of 4 are all together. So I'm pretty happy with that. That all seems to be working. Now all I need to do is just set up for the choke, and then I'll tighten everything down. Now the choke on this has basically got 4 separate chokes. Here, like so, and there's a rail that goes across here like so, and you've got these hooks which slot into each individual choke, and then just pull them out like so. One like that, one like that, and one like that. And they're held in place by these half moon circlips, that is. So what I'll do, I'll stick these on and show the finished results. Okay, so the choke is on, all threaded through there, so you can see there, those are all connected to the individual chokes, like that. So now it's the painstaking problem, or the exercise I should say, of getting these half moon circlips through there and into those little slots there as well. So that will stop the rod from coming out and actually pulls the chokes. Right, let me do that. Okay, it's done. Right, it's a bit of a faff, I've got to say, but there we go, all put back together and all looking nice and clean, or pretty clean I should say. So what I'm going to do, just tighten everything up here, put the cable holder on here as well, I should say, like that, and then we're done. Right, there we go, done. Carbs all put back together. You just saw I put a load of WD-40 on it. The only reason is I'm going to go away again for a few days work, so I'm not going to put this on the bike right now, and also I'm waiting for a carb cleaner, so it's really just give it a bit of an oily residue over the top, stop any sort of rust or residue sort of forming on there. And then when I come back, carb cleaner, blitz it all out, give it a good old clean everywhere, and then put it back on the bike. But this is all put back together. It's carbs for me are like jigsaws, really. Well, bikes in general, they're like big jigsaw puzzles, and you just got to take your time and piece them all together. And having a diagram there to work off really helps. But sometimes the diagrams, they appear back to front, if you know what I mean. You've got to kind of figure it out, play around with it to see which carb goes where, which bit goes where, how you slot them all together. But eventually it all comes together. Right, so here I've got the fuel lines to go on. That'll go in there, there and there, one in there, one in there. And also the main fuel line coming in there as well, like so. And then we're done. Right. Hope you found that useful, and don't do as I do, probably do better than I do. That's probably the best way to describe this video. Right, catch you again in another video coming very soon. Bye now.